There's something going on here. Okay? Equations that are in standard for y, putting it in the slope-intercept form, you're going to find the x and y intercepts. Now, to catch on to that pattern, I need you guys to do something using your straight edge. Random lines on that graph right there. Wait, don't do it real quick. Got to use a straight edge. And then it's got to cross the x and y intercepts at nice, neat integers. What I mean is, don't put a big old point like in between one. I'll do one first. I'm going to put an x-intercept and then a y-intercept at -4. Okay? Then I'm going to grab my straight edge.
Do you have any more?
I don't.
Amen.
Well, I'll clean out a note card. Do something, your ID or something like that for a straight edge. Now, go to this table over here and write the coordinates where the line crosses the x-axis and the y-axis for line 1. Let's see, in my example, it crosses the x-axis at the point 2, 0. Okay, and it crosses the y-axis at 0, -4. That was just my line. You're going to have a different one. I want you guys to do that 2 more times. Random lines. Make sure they cross at nice, neat integers, and put the points into the table, and then look for a pattern. See if you're smart enough to figure out what happens every single time.
Whoops.
Negative?
Second line, I'm going to go here and here. My line 2. The x-intercept is at -3, 0. Yours is probably different. And the y-intercept is at 0,
Why
5.
would they be different? Because we're just trying.
You're drawing random lines. Don't do the same thing I'm doing. And the last one, I'm going to go right there. X-intercept is at 4, 0. The y-intercept is at 0, 2. Anybody notice a really important pattern? What are the coordinates every single time when the line crosses the x-axis?
You add 2 or subtract 2.
This is 0. Oh, it's the owl thing.
Okay, it's the owl thing. Okay, but notice, guys, when a line crosses the x-axis, okay, run your pencil along the x-axis maybe. The y value of that point will always be what number? 0. That happens every single time. Okay? When a line crosses the y-axis, run your pencil up and down the y-axis. What's the x value of that point every single time?
0.
0. Okay? Notice when you wrote down the coordinates for when it crosses the y-axis, 0 was always the x value. Will that happen every single time?
Yeah.
Sure will. Okay? Now, we call this, and Harrison remembered it, we call it the owl. Owl eyes. You guys remember that or not?
I do.
Kind of, owl eyes? Or, that's what Miss McCall calls it, owl eyes. Miss Perillo, and I like this one a little bit better, is the cover-up method. The cover-up method. Didn't spell that right. And you'll see when we do an example how the cover-up method works. Okay? Owl eyes or cover-up method. Graph each line, and in what form are the lines given to you in? Which form of the linear equation is that? Everybody agreed standard form, right? The best way to graph a line in standard form is to find the x and y intercepts. Even though the other day you guys learned to solve it for y, put it in slope-intercept form, graph it that way. No. Because the directions say find the x and y intercepts, show your work, we're going to do it that way. So here's what we're going to do. Everybody put 2 blank points. It'll be the first point's going to be the x-intercept, the second point's going to be the y. You put zeros in the middle. And then that's why we call it the owl eyes. Remember?
Yeah.
Put zeros in the middle. Now, you're going to do two problems, and here's where the cover-up method comes into play. The first point, I'm going to put 0 in for y. What happens to something when you multiply it by 0? Does it go away? Does it make nothing?
Yeah.
That's why Ms. Perillo calls it the cover-up method. Negative 2 times 0 is nothing. So I'm going to cover up the 2y. I'm going to write 3x equals 6. Because negative 2 times 0 I'm not even going to write minus 0 there. And now I've got to solve that. Everybody divide both sides by 3. I got x to be 2. There's the x value when y is 0. So I know that the x-intercept is at 2, 0. Go over to your graph and graph the point 2, 0. Now you're going to start all over, and you're going to take 0 and plug it in for x. I got the ability to show it with a different color pen. So put 0 in for x. What's 3 times 0? Cover it up. It's 0. It's gone. But I still have negative 2y equals 6. That's not a very good y. I apologize. Divide by, it's even worse, negative 2. Negative 2y equals 6. Divide both sides by negative 2. Y equals negative 3. So I'm going to put negative 3 in for the y value, because that's what y is when x is 0. And there's my y-intercept. 0, negative 3. Use your straight edge. Draw a line.
Straight line.
And we graphed it by doing what, people?
Finding the x and y intercepts.
We found the x and y intercepts. And we used the cover-up method to do that.
Yes, I got
We
it.
start with the owl eyes and then do the cover-up method. Jump to the back. Okay? Same thing. Get an equation in standard form. X plus 3y equals 3. Let's find the x and y intercepts. Make your 2 points and put zeros. Put your eyes in there. 0 in for the first for the y. Then you're going to do the cover up. X equals 3. Don't even have to solve that one. There's no coefficient in front of your x. You're good to go. 3, 0 is your x-intercept. Now, start all over. Put 0 in for x. Cover it up. 3y equals 3. This one we do have to solve. Divide both sides by 3. I got y to be 1. Put that in there. 0, 1. Use your straight edge and draw your line. In high school, guys, this is the way you're going to have to graph lines when they're in standard form. That's how your Algebra 1 teacher is going to show you guys how to do it. Okay? Now, on that third one,
I doesn't
Work out
go into
evenly.
12 either.
what happens if it doesn't work out evenly?
Do fractions.
Right, deal with and you're just going to estimate and use your best judgment. You guys are all smart kids. Watch this. 0, 0. I'm going to put 0 in for y. Cover it up, because 3 times 0 is nothing. Goes away. 5x equals 12. And kids are like, oh, geez, 12 is not divisible by 5. So, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either grab your calculator, type it in, you get the answer there. But think about mixed numbers. You guys are good with, how many times does 5 go into 12?
2 and 2 fifths.
2, and then how many are left over?
2 fifths.
2 fifths. So the x-intercept is actually at a fraction or a mixed number at 2 and 2 fifths. You guys know where 2 and 2 fifths is?
Right before 2 and a half.
Right, it's right around 2 1/2. Very good estimating, Bill. So go to 0 and then about 2 1/2, maybe a little bit before it. Just use your best judgment. That's all you got to do. If it doesn't work out evenly, just think and estimate it the best you can. Now the second point, we're going to put 0 in for x. That's the x coordinate of the point. Cover up. 3y equals 12. Does this one work out evenly?
Yep.
Yeah. Divide by 3. What's y, guys?
4.
4. So the y-intercept is at 0, 4. Put a big old point. Draw your line. Good to go. All right, last one. You guys are doing great. Everybody find the X and Y intercept. See if you can do one on your own, totally from beginning to end. Go.
I did grab it right.
Oh, we'll grab it right.
I'm waiting.
No waiting.
I did the work first, so I didn't do it.
Baby.
Because it's one of the tips.
No, it's not.
Okay, it's like right here. -2.
Harms, what'd you get for the X-intercept?
-1/2.
-1/2. Very good, Kate. Guys, what's the knucklehead kid say the answer to that is? -2. We see it an 8 and a 4. They're like, I don't want to deal with fractions, so I'm going to reverse it. No, it's -1/2.
I wish you.
Okay. Put 0 in for X. Cover that up. Y equals -4. Very easy there. We don't have to solve that one. So I got a X-intercept at 0, -1/2, and a Y-intercept at 0, -4. Ooh, this line is very what? Steep. Okay?
Max negative.
That line is very steep. Okay? So I need you guys to practice and show your work. Don't try to do it in your head. Okay? Jot down the points, do your eagle eyes or your owl eyes, and go from there.
The lion
If you
eyes.
didn't do your weekly review in last week, I'll take it now. Okay? Alright, you got space? Do your work right on the worksheet. We'll probably come close to getting this done in class.
We have a half an hour. No,
Start doing your work.
I showed my work and then it was. I showed my work on the front page and then it was too much.
Same
You can see where I'm from.
This year? Like, we're not really go.
That's not the pressure. I'm too short.